This video is going to cover the North Fork Swannonoa River Burnett Reservoir, also known as the North Fork Reservoir, and follow the path of that river down as it ties into the Swannanoa River. My name is Dominic Tavernitti. I've lived here in Black Mountain for 8 years with my family, and I'm capturing footage around the area, my communities, following Hurricane Helene. My primary purpose is to document the recovery and show what's going on around the area. This footage was captured around the between October the 18th and the 22nd. And before we go there, let me show you real quickly where we're at on the map. Over to the west is Asheville. Over in the left-hand corner of the video here, Swannanoa, Black Mountain, and then let me show you the watershed that we are looking at. It is not a perfect overlay here, but in the center of the screen you can see Burnett, North Fork Reservoir with the light purple boundary, and that is the watershed for that area. In a previous video we covered Montreat Wilderness and Flat Creek as it goes down and ties into Swannanoa River. So we are going to we're going to take a look at the spillway. That was the opening scene, and then we're going to follow the river as it comes down and around this area where it ties in with the Swannanoa River. Previously we took a look in Montreat as Flat Creek comes down and then ties into Swannanoa River and runs roughly down this way. And then in a subsequent or a previous video, I pick up where we're going to leave off on this one and show Swannanoa, the town of Swannanoa, and as Swannanoa River runs through it. We're taking a right on North Fork, Left Fork Road. All right, we're coming up on the bridge and construction site here. Let's see where we can park and find a place to put the drone up. If you're from here, familiar with this area, with the bridge here headed towards kind of the end of the road, North Fork Reservoir is up ahead, Laurel Ridge, a large community up on the mountain. But one thing that's pretty amazing is the river no longer runs underneath the bridge. Recognize this area, a popular swimming hole. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
You with the crew here?
I'm in the city.
Oh yeah? Do you know, is there plans to reroute the river back underneath or just leave it?
The river is where it is now.
Yeah, incredible. All right, thank you.
Let's go.
So like that, the river has found a new course. As I was saying, this was a kind of a popular swimming hole for a while. They shut it down for a bit after there were some injuries or what have you, but it didn't look like this at all. Of course, over in this area, there was a hill that went around and the river snaked down through, and there was a swimming hole in here. So this is a photo. It is completely cut a new path that I had lifted and just plugged in there so you could see what it used to look like.
I feel like there should be someone working at the other.
Let me hit pause here and share what I learned from the crew there. If you've been following the city water department updates, which have been fantastic, you'll already know this. The pipe they're working on right here is the primary pipe that had been taken out. I don't know how far of a section they've replaced, but they've put in a bypass pipe, and that bypass pipe is over to the right and was along where the river used to run for a section and still follows it here. But they have a bypass in place now, and now they're putting in this the main pipe. And as I understand, this main pipe is going to run the length of the road that they're replacing here.
And they joined the two. Oh my God. This is like, we have 40 lines, you know?
So as you can see, the equipment off into the background, that in the road that's been recently put back in. There used to be a cement road there, but that was washed out. These are the old pipes here, but they're going to be replacing, putting in the primary pipe along that entire road, and you'll get a view. Just to keep you oriented, we're facing north at this point as we lift off. We're looking straight up into the watershed and towards Burnett Reservoir. So there's the new path of the river, and then underneath the bridge there at the bottom is where the river used to go. And this gravel road that is being put in, I believe now that they're going to, I imagine it's all a stepped process. They put that road in so they could operate and get trucks through, and now they're going to lay that new pipe down underneath that road, and I'm not sure how far that goes. So now we're flying north up the North Fork Swannonoa River, and we're going to follow it to the reservoir. You can see the spillway off in the distance now, and we'll fly up to that. I'd received some questions about the spillway and how it fared, and one comment specifically that the water department made, that the spillway operated as intended. Yeah, I'm incredibly thankful. I was reading, so the restricted watershed is 22,000 acres here, and the reservoir itself is 5,000 acres, holding 5.8 billion gallons of water. When operating normally, I read a stat that the reservoir provides 15 million gallons of fresh water to the city of Asheville and surrounding areas every day. So you can see the destruction here as the water was releasing through the spillway and clearly, ate out the land. But the spillway is still here, and there was no failure to the dam. It would have been catastrophic, well beyond what we've seen downstream of this had the dam broken. I don't recall ever hearing that this dam was in jeopardy. I recall on Friday hearing over the radio warnings that Lake Lure and some other dams were in risk of imminent failure, but I never heard that about this dam. We're looking at the water processing facility over there now. And now we've turned south and we are looking towards Black Mountain Swannanoa. If you're not familiar with the quarry here in this area, that's what the feature is on the side of the mountain. So you can see the river surrounding the river has been carved out. We'll take a closer look at that in a moment. We're going to rotate clockwise here and then look up the river towards, get a better view towards Swannanoa and Black Mountain. The North Fork Swannonoa River joins the Swannanoa River at the boundary of Black Mountain and Swannanoa. You know, the names get repeated and it gets confusing here. So that's the bridge I had pulled up to. And now we're going to, just to take a closer look, we're going to fly along the river. I'll get even lower here in a second. And looking at the force of the water coming out of the reservoir in the North Fork Swannonoa River, it becomes evident when joining with all the tributaries in the Swannanoa River just a couple miles from here as it went through Swannanoa, the town of Swannanoa, and caused complete devastation there. Again, I have that filmed in a subsequent video I'll link to. Okay, so I have come a bit further down North Fork Road here, and I'm going to pause in a second to show you where I'm at. As we pan left, we are looking at Lake Eden and Camp Rockmont. They're pretty much in the middle of the screen. And if you've ever been to the Leaf Festival, that's where it's held. And let me flip over to the map and I'll show you where we are. So we have come down the river and we are filming from about, we'll come back to where we get the topographical layer. Filming from about here now, and we're looking up at Lake Eden. I've driven up there. Trees along the road have been broken down from wind. I saw lots of trees down in this area. Clearly, you can see some of the dirt deposit there. Which I'm going to pause real quick. I saw something interesting as I was editing this. My wife didn't agree, but to me, the sediment here on the lawn sure looks like a guy's head and face. I just thought that was interesting. But overall, Camp Rockmont looks like it's in pretty good shape. It didn't look like a tremendous amount of damage. You can see sediment on the basketball and tennis courts there. And now we are looking south. On the left-hand side, this is the Ingles Distribution Center, a very large warehouse there. And here in the center of the screen is the quarry. I don't know the exact name, Grove. Grovestone is a neighborhood in the area. Grovestone Road, I think, is what comes up between 70 and Old 70. And that comes from Grove, the man who built Grove Park Inn, also started this quarry. So the river is running here next to this road. You can see how it had come out into these forests and fields and dropped a lot of sediment. As we'll see with the videos here going forward for a bit, there's quite the complex of rock handling and such from the quarry. I would imagine the river, as you can see it here, just to the left of this facility here. Here towards the bottom of the screen, you can see all the dump trucks lined up, and they're filling them out to heading out to repair the roads. But as I was saying, I imagine the river came up and probably took down some of the piles of rock, stones, sand that they have piled up here. But I'm sure they got back to work very quickly and reassembled. So it's difficult to tell what impact it may have had to this operation. Perhaps running a little bit long here, but fast forward if you want to get to another section. This bridge here up in the top of the screen, which is 70, Old 70, crossing the river, is going to be our next clip. I'll film them from the ground and also put the drone back up at that point. So now we're looking north, and there is the North Fork Swannonoa River running alongside the quarry operation. So this, what looks like a road here, I believe, has simply been put in to divert the river back to the right-hand side of the screen, and you'll see that in a moment as the drone goes up. This area is extremely dusty from all of the gravel being pulled out of the quarry in the dump trucks. So you'll see the river is here on the right side of this road that they put in. Also, I believe a road existed, and what they're putting back in place now is an opportunity for quarry trucks to get over to their other operations. There's a cement plant, asphalt facility. I actually hadn't seen a lot of these until now when I put the drone up. There's quite the collection of discrete operations dealing with the stones back here. So we are now getting, okay, so we were looking north panning down on top of the facility. There's the bridge of Old 70 going across North Fork Swannonoa River. And I'm going to pause right here. This business park sitting right here on Old 70 was flooded. And there's a creek that runs on the other side of it, but a combination of the Swannanoa River, which is on the other side of the Ingles Distribution Center here in the top right-hand corner of the video, and the North Fork Swannonoa River that we just panned away from, either one or both, we know both jumped their banks, but one of them, probably the North Fork Swannonoa River, flowed over and into this area. And I know a number of companies in there, Pirani Life is in there, among others, that had flooding. A number of them lost quite a bit of inventory. Oak and Grist Distillery is here in the bottom of the screen, if you're familiar with it. Of course, Ingles Distribution Center up in the top of the screen. This is Silverado's, and I'll just pause here for a moment. They have done an absolutely incredible job from day one of organizing help and aid in the area and transforming their entire facility into a station that provided a wider variety of equipment and goods than some of the other aid stations have. Of course, they had the water and clothes and a number of things, but as I was going out into communities like south on Highway 9, and I found residents and aid stations that needed things like chainsaw blades and power cords and shovels and other things, they had it here at Silverado's. So there were, yeah, it was a little bit different than many other places I had been to. And now we're looking at Kierfot factory here, 70. Now we're turning west, and right here, let me back up just a moment. Right here, we are looking at the intersection of the Swannanoa River and North Fork Swannonoa River, and as they join, they immediately go through KOA Campground, and I'll provide a link. There is I have an earlier video I did that focuses here and goes west towards Swannanoa. Ingles Distribution Center. So the Swannanoa River runs, and I'll provide another link. I did a previous video looking at the Flat Creek, Montreat area, and as Flat Creek flows into Swannanoa River, stopped that video on the east side of the Ingles Distribution Center, and the river flows behind the facility and then comes up. This is 40 on the far right-hand side. It goes between, the river goes between Distribution Center and 40 and then comes this way. Ingles had damage to their parking lot, at least the parking lot in the back. I don't know if their distribution, the bays for the trucks had any issues. And so now we're looking at the Swannanoa River as it goes underneath the railroad tracks and Highway 70, comes up to the left or the west side of Kierfot and joins in with the North Fork Swannonoa River towards the center top of the screen here. Now we're flying east over Highway 70. And they're starting to make repairs to the tracks there. This is a photo from the evening of September the 28th, Saturday, the day after the storm. As I drove through Swannanoa to get back to my house, which is only about a mile from here. And here are some cars that had been washed, I assume, out of the parking lot of the Ingles Distribution Center. To the right-hand side, there's a little reflection on my glass, but you can see a semi-truck tipped over, laying on its side with the cab here on the left-hand side. And now I'm flying that route over the Swannanoa River as it has crossed Highway 70, where it joins in with North Fork Swannonoa River, and the two combined now are headed into the KOA Campground. And in subsequent Swannanoa video, it essentially picks up at this point, and up in the top of the screen is KOA Campground. Here's camp. They have a long-term parking for campers, and then the campground is this entire area, and you can see where the lakes, I believe, well, sediment has been deposited and the lakes have been drained because the levees broke on those, so they're not retaining any of the water at the moment. Now we are looking west down 70 and towards Swannanoa. Now to either go upstream from this to Black Mountain and Montreat, I have a video already done, and if you would like to go downstream towards Swannanoa, there's an earlier video as well. Please do drop me a comment if there's a place that you would like to see some more detail on.